The old Plaza Church in the Mexican quarter of the city of Los Angeles is a quaint reminder of the days when California was under the flag of Spain, and this historic plaza was alive with the color and romance of Aragon and Castile. For it was here, upon this hallowed ground, that the governor of Spanish California unsheathed his sword and stuck its point into the earth and said, "Here, in the name of God and our sovereign king, we will found the Pueblo of Our Lady, Queen of the Angels." That was over a century and a half ago, but even today, there is restored within the confines of this old plaza a tiny thoroughfare known as Alvaro Street, where one may witness something of the color and romance of Los Angeles as it was in the heyday of its career, under the flags of Spain and Mexico. Alvaro Street was formerly one of the two main thoroughfares of Los Angeles, over which passed the sandaled feet of brown-robed padres, and from the balconies of which dark-eyed senoritas cast their spell of romance upon the young courtiers below, as they strummed their guitars and sang their songs of love in the musical language of old Spain. In interesting contrast to this romantic little lane of colorful yesterdays, we behold the great modern city of Los Angeles, one of the fastest-growing cities in the world. In less than half a century, the population of this young metropolis and its associated communities comprising Los Angeles County has increased from 50,000 to about 2.25 million of inhabitants. So that today, the formerly obscure little Mexican pueblo has become the 5th largest city in the United States. Wilshire Boulevard is a fine example of the many grand boulevards that reach out from the heart of Los Angeles, like the arms of a gigantic octopus, embracing numerous suburbs such as Pasadena and Hollywood, which have grown so rapidly that they too have become cities by their own right within the tremendous county of Los Angeles. Hollywood Boulevard is the main street of that illustrious community which has contributed so much to the international prominence of Los Angeles. Hollywood itself is a quiet, well-behaved little town with a greatly exaggerated reputation for notoriety. Among the many outstanding theaters of Hollywood is Grauman's Chinese, which is noted for its elaborate prologues and the dazzling previews that are usually attended by the motion picture stars in all the glamour and glory of a first-night performance in Hollywood. Perhaps there is no place in America that can compete with Los Angeles County in the construction of architectural oddities, for here one may find anything from a brown derby to a shoe, transformed into practical use with little or no concern for the consistencies of orthodox architecture. As a matter of fact, the inspiration or source of design for all this odd construction could have been taken from an illustrated book of nursery rhymes. The brown derby, the old woman in the shoe, the blue mill, and the doll village are just a few of the many colorful oddities that help to make Los Angeles one of the most unique places in the world. On the green lawns of the Hollywood potteries, we are fascinated by a colorful array of pottery, fine examples of an art that seems to add another chapter to the nursery of fanciful things that one is apt to see in this fanciful realm. And this is only natural, for there is no place in the world that dwells in a realm of fancy comparable to that of Hollywood, the land of make-believe. Here in the mighty mansions of Cinemaland, under such familiar trade names as Paramount, RKO, Fox, Universal, Warner Brothers, Columbia, United Artists, and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, a vast majority of the world's motion pictures are produced. Beyond this imposing entrance to the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer studios, on a quiet Sunday afternoon, we are afforded the opportunity of seeing something of the tremendous architectural range that is covered by the production of motion pictures. For here, within a comparatively small area, one may find a replica of practically every style of architecture known to man. A tour of movie land is virtually a tour of the world. And while we're on the subject of motion pictures, it is fitting that high tribute should be paid to an industry that dedicates itself to the entertainment and enlightenment of mankind. For through its international medium, the motion picture screen, history is reborn, the immortal classics of literature are reenacted, and life itself is brought to the peoples of the world in a language that all can appreciate and understand. The home of Mickey Mouse is one of the most interesting studios in Los Angeles. Here we find a small army of workers devoting themselves to the task of compiling cartoons that have become world famous. And behind all this is the genius of the master who created Mickey Mouse, the Three Little Pigs, the Big Bad Wolf, and a host of other cartoon characters, the incomparable Walt Disney himself. No one in the history of organized entertainment has given more joy to the world than Walt Disney, the brain and the voice of Mickey Mouse, and the patron saint of children the world over. The Hollywood Bowl, nestling in the hills of Los Angeles County, is a more recent milestone in the long road that Los Angeles has traveled since it was founded in the old plaza near Alvaro Street. For nothing determines the progress of a community so much as the development of its cultural arts, and it has been the good fortune of Los Angeles County to have concentrated within its boundaries a large proportion of the best that America has to offer in this respect. This dress rehearsal of the Francesca Bragiotti dancers, preparatory to a grand community performance, is our final impression of Los Angeles, Wonder City of the West.